I've come here today to Monash University, the most prestigious university in Australia, to seek some answers about social work. Social work in the education industry. Social work is a way of life. Social work is a misconception. Myself, I enjoy social work. Mendes. What can I say about Mendes? She's a champion. Okay, let's go find out about some social work. Well, firstly, as a social worker at a university, can you tell me what your job is exactly and what your job involves?
Well, I'm a social work academic, so I'm a social work educator. But in my past life, I was a social work practitioner, and I've worked in many fields, including women's services, rural Aboriginal health, mental health, aged care, housing, etc. So I don't do that anymore because I'm an educator. Now I just teach people how to do it. I don't do it myself.
Okay, so what do you actually teach?
I teach a unit called Social Work Leading Sustainable Change and Social Work in Society, and they're both introductory units that our BSW people do in second year and our qualifying masters people do in their first year.
Okay, sounds good to me. So are you looking forward to having me as your student in the coming years?
I can't wait. You should be with us next year, I think. Would that be right?
Yes, if I pass.
Well, I'm sure you will. So currently I've got a big group of undergrads and postgrads together. We provide a lecture to those groups together, and then we have separate workshops or tutes.
In the educational field, say at the university, is there any available social workers or counsellors?
I believe there is a counselling service at Monash. It's probably on the ground floor of this building, I think, or you know where the medical centre is?
Yep.
There's a counselling service there. I don't know if they employ social workers. They might be psychologists or something else, but I don't know of a social worker working in that sort of role at Monash, but then I've only been here a couple of years.
Okay. So, in the educational industry as well, could you think of any other roles or jobs there are for social workers?
Well, in the state education system, social workers are employed in secondary schools. Not as many as there used to be, and I think the state budget, which came down last week, has made funding available for welfare officers, not social workers, but we certainly have had social workers in secondary schools. Sometimes they work in a cluster of schools, so a cluster of primary and secondary schools. That's a great career for a social worker.
I had a look at some stats and it said employers in social work in general, it's only 2% are actually in education.
Yeah.
It's not a very large number at all.
No, it's I know there are teachers who have a welfare qualification. They tend to do the welfare work in schools, but there are some social workers, as I say. But social workers you'll find much more outside those structures. So if I were a teacher in a school concerned about a child who might be at risk, I'd refer to a social worker who works in child protection. So that might be in a government department or in a welfare agency. But that's true. That social workers are not a big presence in schools or in universities. Only we're here as academics. That's different altogether. I'm a member of the association. I abide by the code of ethics. That's a really important thing. I turned it off.
No, it's good.
So the Australian Association of Social Workers, I'm on the national board. We, as social workers, say that we will practice according to the code of ethics. So no matter what comes through my door, that's the way I'll behave.
Okay.
What I have to be careful about, I think, is I'm not a counsellor. If you're my student, we have to have our roles very clear, right? So I'll talk to you about academic things, but if you've got personal problems, I would want to refer you to a counsellor somewhere else.
This is probably a bit controversial, this question, but for example, if somebody comes to you saying they've committed a crime and they seek your assistance, what is your stance on that? Would you refer them to the police? Or
well, it's very clear. I'd have to report them to the police, and that would happen with any professional anywhere. So we talk about confidentiality, but we can't guarantee absolute confidentiality. And we say I think there are 3 times when I would explain that to you when you come to me first, and I would say if I thought you had harmed somebody, if I thought you were going to harm yourself, or there's another one, I can't think what it is, or if I thought you were at risk of something. So that's when I would need to report. So if a child, particularly if a child was at risk, a child in your care, say, I would need to report that to the authorities. But for any citizen anywhere, if you hear that a crime has been committed or you think it's about to be committed, it's your duty as a citizen to report that to the police, no matter whether you're a social worker or anything.
Excellent. That's pretty clear to me now. Thank you very
Good.
much. Thanks for your time, and I appreciate everything you said.
You're welcome.
Coming from a very prestigious and knowledgeable person.
No.
Not at all.
No.
I disagree.
We're still learning.
Thanks very much for
We
your
never
time.
stop learning. Okay,
Thank
and good
you.
luck with the course, and I'll see you next year.
Definitely. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And
for
you're
your
the
time.
best dressed student I've seen in
Thank
quite
you
some
very
time.
much. I thought I might get
Look
some
the part.
professionalism.
That's very good, I think.
Thank you.
Very good. So you have to present this in class?
I do. Yeah, Wednesday.
Let me know how you go.
I will, definitely.
Alright. Do you want my card?
Yes, please.
And you can send me an email. Let me know how you go on.
Definitely.
Or send me a copy.
Okay. Alright, appreciate your time.
No
Thank you very
worries.
much. I'm here at the counselling service, and they've actually rejected an interview with me, which is pretty disappointing, seeing as though they're a service and I'm obviously in need of some counselling, or I wouldn't be doing this, so I'm pretty disappointed. You could say dangerously disappointed. There's obviously someone in there. Check through this little hole. Check. See?
I'm not aware of any available at the university.
Yeah, I was just talking about how like eggs on toast and the steps you have to go through. So, getting the toast, putting it in the toaster, getting your eggs, cracking them, putting them in the pan, and just eating them.